Hello friends, in the last video we have seen how air resistance increases with the square of the vehicle speed and corresponding drop in kmp. This necessarily implies that in the lower speeds we should get a better kmpl, better than 28 or 33 what we have seen in the last video, below 60 kilometers per hour speed. But practically it doesn't happen. This is because at low vehicle speed, we have to necessarily operate in the lower gears. And in the lower gears, fuel consumption due to engine friction increases considerably. In this video, we'll see what is the effect of this engine friction on our kmpl. So for this, with the vehicle stationary, we will have to measure, we have to start the engine, run the engine at a fixed pre-decided RPM, let us say at 1500 RPM, and measure the fuel consumption in cc per hour. Because here in this case vehicle is stationary. So that means we are not taking out any power output from the engine. Since there is no power output, where the fuel consumption is going then? This fuel consumption is going only against to overcome the engine friction, internal friction of the engine. So we have got a direct measurement of the fuel consumption on account of engine friction. Now what fuel, if we measure on the model car at 1500 RPM fuel consumption with the vehicle stationary in this fashion, this can be done just by fitting a test port. And since the vehicle is stationary, there is no other problem with this. Fuel consumption measured in this fashion is 600 cc per hour. Now, it is very clear that when we have measured this fuel consumption with the vehicle stationary, even when the vehicle is running, this fuel consumption in no way is going to get reduced. It is going to be there all the time. With the vehicle speed is running, there will be additional energy requirement of the vehicle. So engine will have to use power output, and proportionately there will increase in the fuel consumption. That is apart. But as far as the engine friction is concerned, this consumption will be there all the time as long as the engine is running at this particular RPM. Now, at 1500 RPM, vehicle speed for our model car is 60 kilometers per hour. And fuel consumption measured at 600 cc per hour. Both are in per hour. 600 cc for 60 kilometers. That means fuel consumption is 600 divided by 60, that is 10 cc per kilometer. Now if you measure the fuel consumption at say 3000 rpm, that is almost double the speed, engine speed, then the fuel consumption goes almost 3 times, almost say 1800 or so for our model car. What happens now when you are operating in lower gear? As I mentioned, at 1500 RPM, fuel consumption is 600 cc per hour for model car. 600 cc per hour. Now, in top gear speed was 60, that's why fuel consumption in cc per kilometer was 10 cc per kilometer. But when if you operate the vehicle in third gear, RPM at same 1500, and if you are in third gear, then the vehicle speed gets divided by 1.5 gear ratio, whatever is the gear ratio. Suppose it is 1.5 in the third gear. Then the fuel consumption due to engine friction gets multiplied by 1.5 because kilometers are reduced. So the 600 cc fuel consumption gets divided for smaller number of kilometers, and therefore fuel consumption in lower gear gets multiplied by the gear ratio. So from 10 in the third gear, with a gear ratio of 1.5, it will go to 15 cc per kilometer. Same thing is, suppose you are operating in second gear, with the same 1500 rpm engine rpm, then the fuel consumption will go to 10 multiplied by 2.3 gear ratio. So it will go to 23 cc per kilometer. And in the first gear, if the gear ratio is say around 4, then the 10 cc per kilometer fuel consumption due to engine friction will go to 40 cc per kilometer. And see, you can see the difference. From 10 cc it has moved to almost 40 cc per kilometer. That is the range of variation. Now, again at 1500 rpm, at 3000 rpm, in top gear itself it is 15 cc per kilometer. In third gear again it will get multiplied by 1.5, so that goes to 22.5 or something. In third gear, second gear it gets multiplied by 2.3. In first gear it will get multiplied by 4. That means that 15 cc per kilometer at 3000 rpm, it will go to 60 cc per kilometer. That means overall result, if you see, fuel consumption due to engine friction has changed from 10 cc per kilometer to 60 cc per kilometer. That is 500% increase. As a result of that, the final result is that in the lower gears we get less kmpl. Right? Now, for ready reference, I have shown the graph of how the fuel consumption due to engine friction changing in different gears. One graph is shown. That is only for a ready reference. We are not interested in the actual figures or very accurate results or any calculations. It is for understanding. It is basically only for the understanding. And now, with that, there is a drop in kmpl. And therefore, how the pattern of the graph of kmpl changes in different gears, that also shown in the next graph. We will come to that. Now, if you look at this graph of the kmpl in different gears, if you notice it carefully, we have noticed that at 60 kilometers per hour speed in top gear, we are getting a kmpl of 28. But if you are looking at the graph, you can see this is the graph is basically for our model car. From different type of vehicle, you have some marginal variation as far as the cars are concerned. Marginal, but the pattern will remain the same. Now, at 60 kilometers per speed, we are getting a kmpl of 28. But in the third gear, kmpl drops down to 23. That is almost 20% difference. Now, same thing, if you go on lower gears, you will find the difference is much larger. Instead of third, if you compare with the second gear, it may be around 35 around percent difference. And if you compare the difference between second gear and the first gear, the difference will be very high, almost reaching up to 90%. So, we have to basically understand this thing. It is not necessary that we should be very specific about the actual figures or do calculations of our own. Nothing of that sort. I am showing it to you to have a better understanding why the things are changing. Right? Now, you may have sufficient knowledge, you have studied, you have find out why the kmpl is changing. And of course, when I have given the graph for a model car for reference, anybody who wants to verify, basically the pattern you have to verify. how in different gears, what KMPL figures you are getting. I have already mentioned in the last video that those people who have got the KMPL reading on their vehicle, in the modern vehicles, there is a provision of instantaneous KMPL, and you can measure the KMPL within few seconds for any gear, any speed. That you can do. Only thing that you have to measure with the constant speed without any deviation. That point you should not forget. Per hour speed, we are getting a KMPL of 28, but in the third gear at 60 km speed. Now I specifically chosen same speed so that air resistance doesn't make any difference. Air resistance is same in both the cases because we are comparing at 60 km per hour speed only. But KMPL has dropped from 28 to 23 in the third gear. That is 20%. In lower gears I mentioned, you can verify from the graph. At different speeds you can verify. At 40 kilometers you can compare what is the difference. Even the third and second and lower speeds you can compare. And at in the lower gears it is still higher. That is top and third, it is, if it is say 20% in third and second, it will go to some 35%. Second to first, it will go 85-90%. This is only for the purpose of understanding. Now, the important point here what you notice that in lower gear we are getting less KMPL, no dispute about it. So, it implies that if you want better KMPL, you should shift to higher gear as soon as possible. As soon as possible, whenever we reach the minimum speed in that higher gear, the minimum speed required in that higher gear, as soon as you reach that speed, you shift to higher gear so that you can minimize the losses. But now in the city traffic, you don't have a choice of what speed to drive the vehicle. It all governed by the traffic conditions on the road. Now suppose if at some lower speed, traffic is moving at a lower speed and you are necessarily to be in the lower gear. You are already lower, second gear. And if it is possible for you to shift to third gear, you immediately shift to third gear. That is the only possible. Otherwise, if the road would have been clear, and if I am able to accelerate faster, I won't mind even you go to higher RPM for getting faster acceleration. In that case, I am getting the benefit that total period of my travel in the lower gear gets reduced. But when it is not possible for me to accelerate faster, there is no point in continuing in the lower gear unnecessarily at a higher RPM. You get me? So, what is important? You shift to higher gear early, and the benefit you will get is instead of third you shift to top, you are getting immediately difference of 20-25 or 22%. From second to third you are shifting, you are getting a difference of nearly 35%. First to second, of course, 80, more than 80%. So, you have to keep in mind, you don't have control on the vehicle speed. That is also true. So, this is one of the standard methods of shifting to higher gear as early as possible. That is one method. Second method that is followed, it is not the wider acceptance for these methods, but one has to be very carefully done. Significant saving can be achieved. One of the method is pulse and glide method, or what they call it a hypermiling technique. In this what they do, suppose you are running on a highway and suppose you want to, for economy reasons, you are restricting your speed to 100 kilometers per hour. But they want to further improvement in KMPL. Now we have seen that engine friction also a major part It's considerable part. Of course, in top gear it is comparatively less, 20% only, 20 to 22% only. But that is not a small amount. 20% is also not a small amount for it. What they do, they are actually, suppose you are restricting the speed to 100. From 80 kilometers per hour speed, they accelerate faster, 200 kilometers per hour. Okay? Accelerate faster doesn't affect your KMPL gear. Take it from me. It doesn't affect your trip KMPL. I will explain it in the further videos. So that we'll consider later. 80 to 100 kilo you accelerate faster. That is the method being followed. And then release, once you reach 100, release the accelerator pedal and allow the vehicle to slow down. And when you are releasing the accelerator pedal, same time you either shift to neutral or make the clutch off. In short, what we have to do, you have to disconnect the engine from the rest of the transmission. And with this what happens? The fuel consumption due to engine friction is avoided in that case. Because engine is disconnected and there is no load. Now, again I will clarify in this. When you release the accelerator pedal, there is actually no fuel consumption. We will again cover that point also in the next videos. In the next videos, we will cover that point. So, what happens? Even with when you are disconnecting the engine from the rest of the transmission, there is no fuel consumption on account of engine friction. So 20% was the contribution of the engine friction in the overall fuel consumption. That much quantity gets reduced in your consumption. So you are able to achieve at least 15% saving by this method. Now, in this method you have to be very careful that if the road is clear, you are sure that it is not necessary for you to apply some emergency brakes. With due care, you can use this method and you can have a saving. Net saving will be around 15% because some part you have to spend for the acceleration. And that's why to reduce that part, accelerate it faster, that is requirement. Otherwise, your improvement or saving will be gets reduced. The method, but as far as this point is concerned, shifting to neutral, please bear in mind that never try out this method while we coming down the hill. It will be very, very dangerous because if there is no engine resistance, your vehicle speed will go on increasing because when you are coming down the hill from the hill station, there is a very long stretch of downward slope. The speed goes on increasing continuously. And controlling that, instead of engine you have to control by using brakes. There is a phenomena called brake fading occurs. And when the brake fading occurs, there is drastic reduction in the coefficient of friction and your brakes will not at all be effective and you can meet with an accident. So for the heaven's sake, never try out this method of shifting to neutral in the hilly region when you are coming down the slope. Even on the highways also, if you are trying to do this at very high speed at 140 or something, don't do it. Up to 100 kilometers, with due care, you can do it. Now, main problem of our engine friction it happens in the lower gear. There what to do? Now there, if you work out the fuel consumption, we have already shown you what is the fuel given cc per kilometer due to engine friction, how it gets multiplied. 40 and 60 up to 40 cc per kilometer, 60 cc per kilometer. These are very high figures. In percentage value, if we talk about, in top gear, if it is say 20% fuel consumption, then in the second gear, it may be of the order of 40%. That is the engine contribution of the engine friction in the total fuel consumption is 40%. In the third gear, sorry. In the second gear, it may be 60%. And in the first gear, it is 75 to 80%. That is 75 to 80% of the fuel consumption is on account of engine friction only. So, whether there is any scope for avoiding this friction, avoiding this loss, increase in engine friction. So, one of the methods is whenever in city operation, you have no control over speed. You have to go as per the traffic on the road. But if you are keeping sufficient margin with the for the vehicle in front of you, sufficient safe distance, then whenever there is a chance of slowing down the vehicle, whenever there is a condition that you have to slow down the vehicle, you can shift to neutral or make the clutch off. And that will give you a saving of whatever time you get. Say in city operation, the number of surveys have been taken, particularly in our Mumbai region, and that is shown that fuel consumption, in the Mumbai driving cycle, 40% of the time, the vehicles are run with the accelerator in the release position. 40% of the time. When the 40% of the time we are releasing the accelerator pedal, running the vehicle, using the kinetic energy of the vehicle, then it becomes a case for you to shift to neutral, and you can get more distance covered using the same kinetic energy. So when I am mentioning that it is 40% or 60%, so that much of benefit you will get, provided you are in the habit of keeping that much of safe distance, more safe distance. You can develop that habit gradually. And there is a scope for considerable improvement in the fuel consumption. So, of course, there are actually this method could have been mechanized. Actually, it is possible. Of course, there is no point in talking about it now, but it can be done. Vehicle manufacturers can think about it actually. So, what we have learned in the last two videos. In the first video, in top gear, I mentioned about the air resistance, and for that the only remedy is to restrict your speed, and that can give considerable improvement. It is in your hand, provided you are ready to accept that limiting the speed. And as far as fuel consumption in the lower gear is concerned, or avoiding the engine friction force, if you are considered to engine friction, the method that I shown, 1, 2, 3 method, shifting to higher gear, then pulse and glide method, and in the lower gears also, you can just shift to neutral and allow and particularly, suppose you know that the signal is ahead, a toll plaza is ahead, you can release the accelerator pedal, you can very well see position ahead. The boards are displayed 500 meters before the toll plaza, and you can see it from distance of 100 or 200 meters. So, you have got very good scope to cover that distance, even that distance, without fuel. And again, by depressing the clutch pedal or shifting to neutral. In that case, you can shift to neutral also, because there is no question of re-engaging the gear. Ultimately, you are going to stop at the toll plaza. So that way you can achieve great saving. So for the time being, with this topic rest here. In the next topics, next videos, we'll say there are some controversies, some misunderstanding that acceleration consumes more fuel. Acceleration consumes more fuel is a fact. Moving up the gradient also consumes more fuel, but it does not affect trip KMPL. We'll see this in the next videos. Also, we'll see that whenever we are releasing the accelerator pedal, there is no fuel consumption. You are running the vehicle without any fuel, but using the kinetic energy. And also, there are a number of other factors. Like in the last video I mentioned that natural retardation test. By that you can have a complete analysis. What is the percentage of fuel consumption due to engine friction? What is the percentage of fuel consumption due to air resistance? What is the ratio of KMPL in the two different situations? All that you can find out just in few minutes by simple natural retardation test. No measurement, nothing. There are many such interesting topics. We'll see in the subsequent videos. So please keep subscribed to the channel, and thank you for watching, and wish you all the best for getting better and better KMPL. Wish you all the best. Thank you.